Jordan. Councilman Bartolomeo.
Here.
Mayor.
Okay, in compliance with New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, I hereby declare that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided specifying that this meeting would be held on this date in the municipal building, 55 River Road, Edgewater, New Jersey, at 7 p.m. This notice was sent to the Record and Jersey Journal, posted on the bulletin board in the lobby of the Borough Hall, and posted on the borough's website. This time I'd ask for a moment of silence. I'll lead us in the salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, under conference, we're going to switch it up. On December 7th, 2013, Lieutenant Dennis Ring had informed the governing body that the following Edgewater police officers were to receive Valor Awards, which were being awarded by the New Jersey State PBA for incidents that occurred in 2011 and in 2012. This evening, myself and the council would like to recognize these officers for not only doing their jobs, but for performing their duties very well. The actions of these police officers exemplifies positive teamwork, and they are commended for their professionalism to the department and to the Borough of Edgewater. Okay, so we have them all lined up. Okay, so before I begin to read the brief summaries of each of the incidents the officers are being cited for, I would like to invite all of the honorees to come forward. After I read the summaries, I will present the individual certificates of merit and citation bars to the following: Sergeant Edmund Sullivan, Sergeant Stephen Titus, Sergeant Robert Sullivan, Sergeant Christina Ray, Detective Brian Van Wettering, Officers Joseph Cristolo, Daniel Tarabola, James Dalton, Edward Ring, Gary Yeomans, Mark Lewis, Timothy Farrell, Kim Duchat, Beckham Duchat, William Wallet, and Dale Price. Start off on January 8, 2011 at 3:23 p.m. Sergeant Steve Titus and Sergeant Robert Sullivan were dispatched to a burglar alarm call. Upon arrival, it was determined that the house was entered and the actor fled on foot. Sergeant Titus informed all of the other responding units that the actor was possibly still in the area and to stop any suspicious person. The crime scene was secured so that evidence could be used in the potential arrest of the actor. At this time, Sergeant Christina Ray located a person walking close to the area of the crime scene. She turned her vehicle around, and the actor, upon seeing Sergeant Ray's vehicle, ran into a wooded area where she lost sight of him. Officer Goodwin located the actor and began a foot chase. He was joined by Officer Timothy Farrell in his marked unit, and together they chased him up Hudson Avenue. When the actor didn't stop, Officer Farrell returned to his vehicle to resume the chase. Although injured, Officer Goodwin got up and continued on to chase the actor on foot. Officer Goodwin located the actor behind a house climbing a fence. He pulled him off the fence and was assisted by Officer Farrell. On November 20th, 2011 at 3:26 a.m., Sergeant Titus executed a motor vehicle stop. The driver pulled to the side of the road, and as Sergeant Titus approached the vehicle, the driver accelerated away. Immediately, Sergeant Titus began pursuit of the vehicle. The driver disregarded 2 traffic signals and traveled at a high rate of speed, exceeding the speed limit of 35 miles per hour. Sergeant Titus radioed headquarters to advise them of the situation. Sergeant Titus pursued the vehicle into the next jurisdiction where the driver fled on foot. At this time, Sergeant Titus was joined by Officers Criscolo and Officer Tarabola, and they were directed to conduct a search of the area for the driver. The area was heavily landscaped, causing difficulty in the officers to maintain a visual of each other. The driver was located while he attempted to escape by jumping into the river. A brief struggle ensued between Officers Criscolo and the driver. Officer Tarabola and Sergeant Titus assisted Officer Criscolo in the struggle. At headquarters, it was determined that the driver had a suspended license and an outstanding warrant. The following morning, Jersey City Police contacted the Edgewater Police Department and reported the vehicle was stolen overnight by the driver. Although the owner of the car never pursued charges in the theft of the vehicle. On October 19, 2011 at 8:30 p.m., while patrolling in a marked unit and riding solo, Officer Criscolo observed a burglary in progress by 3 individuals. He notified police headquarters and then began a foot pursuit of all 3 individuals. One of the individuals ran across the main road in town towards a shopping center. This road is extremely busy and visibility was reduced due to rain. Without regards for his own personal safety, Officer Criscolo chased the individual to the front of a local business where he was arrested. At headquarters, Officer Criscolo assisted further with the investigation and obtained a statement from the individual. On January 16, 2012, Officers James Dalton and Edward Ring responded to a commercial burglar alarm at 725 River Road. Upon arrival to the location, they observed a person inside the store, which was adjacent to a jewelry store. As the officers attempted to enter the store to arrest the suspect ran out the front door. As the officers attempted to enter the store to arrest the suspect, they ran out the front door. When the officers reached the front door, they observed 2 additional persons. They radioed headquarters and requested assistance. Detective Brian Van Wettering and Officers Gary Yeomans and Mark Lewis arrived to assist. A perimeter was established to cut off the individual's escape. Edgewater officers were joined by other officers from Fort Lee, Cliffside Park, and Bergen County. 2 of the persons approached Officer Yeomans with Officer Dalton identifying them as the suspects. One ran toward Detective Van Wettering, who apprehended the suspect at gunpoint with the assistance of Officer Ring. The second suspect ran into the building. One suspect made a move indicating he may be armed. Fearing for his safety, Officer Dalton discharged a round in the direction of the suspect. The suspect was not injured and no weapon was recovered. The suspect then exited the building and was arrested by Officer Lewis and a Cliffside Park officer. On August 4, 2012, Officer Bill Wallach and Officer Dale Price were dispatched by Sergeant Edmund Sullivan to a report that a vehicle had just driven off the road and landed behind the Aventine on Thompson Lane. Upon climbing up to the vehicle with medical bags, they discovered the driver was deceased. They then began a recovery operation, and the 3 officers working as a team removed the body from the vehicle. On May 5, 2012, 6:20 a.m., Bergen County 911 report that an approximately 65-year-old male had just collapsed. Sergeant Christina Ray, Officer Timothy Farrell, and Officer Beckham Duche were dispatched to the location. Upon arrival, the patient had no vital signs. While working as a team, they began basic life support. The officers gave rescue breaths and chest compressions in an attempt to restore a pulse and to initiate breathing. The officers then placed an automatic defib on the patient to monitor and to initiate a shock if advised. After several minutes, EMS arrived, and together all continued to work together to revive the patient. The officers assisted in placing the patient in Edgewater 1, where the paramedic unit took over. While in the back of the ambulance, a pulse was restored, and the patient began breathing on his own. I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate you all I'd like to congratulate Chief Skidmore for having such qualified officers. Thank you. Timothy had, Tim Farrell, I have two for you. Borough of Edgewater Certificate of Merit. This certificate hereby commends Patrolman Timothy Farrell for his alertness, initiative, professionalism, and teamwork displayed in his response to the January 18, 2011 burglary alarm and the arrest of the actor involved in the criminal activity. I have another one here for this certificate hereby commends Patrolman Timothy Farrell for his quick response and teamwork displayed on May 15, 2012 to a Bergen County 911 medical call of a patient with no vitals resulting in a life saving of the male individual. Thank you. Dale? Borough of Edgewater Certificate of Merit. This certificate hereby commends Patrolman Dale Price for his alertness, initiative, professionalism, and teamwork displayed in his response to the August 4th, 2012 motor vehicle accident and the recovery of the body and vehicle. Thank you very much. Beckham. Certificate hereby commends Patrolman Beckham Duche for his quick response and teamwork displayed on January 16, 2011 to a Bergen County 911 medical call of a patient with no vitals resulting in a life save of the male individual. Thank you very much. James. The certificate hereby commends Patrolman James Dalton for his alertness, initiative, professionalism, and teamwork displayed in his response to the January 16, 2012 burglar alarm resulting in the arrest of two of the actors involved in the criminal activity. Thank you very much. Mr. Wallach? The certificate hereby commends Patrolman William Wallach for his alertness, initiative, professionalism, and teamwork displayed in his response to the August 4th, 2012 motor vehicle accident and the recovery of the body and vehicle. This certificate hereby commends Sergeant Christina Ray for her alertness, initiative, professionalism, and teamwork displayed in her response to the January 18, 2011 burglar alarm and the arrest of the actor involved in the criminal activity. We have a second one here. This certificate hereby commends Sergeant Christina Ray for her quick response and teamwork displayed on May 15, 2012 to a Bergen County 911 medical call of a patient with no vitals resulting in a life save of the male individual. Thank you very much. Certificate hereby commends Patrolman Edward Ring for his alertness, initiative, professionalism, and teamwork displayed in his response to the January 16, 2012 burglar alarm resulting in the arrest of two of the actors involved in a criminal activity. Thank you. We got everybody, right? The rest of them will be here for, we'll give them to you, Billy. You can bring them down tomorrow, or they can stop by and get them, right? Yes. Just like to take the time to thank you, Billy. Everything's, in the last couple of months, I know we had some other activities and you guys responded perfect. So as mayor and council, we'd like to take the time to thank all you guys. Thank you very much. All right, we're going to switch up our order a little. We have one other individual here for conference, and we don't see him here. So at this time, I'd like to open the meeting to the public. Mary?
Mary Hogan, 606 Underwood Avenue. I had a question on the, next week, the board, the planning board is having another reexamination of the master plan. And I believe we had one in 2001, we had one in 2002, and now we're having another one in 2003. And I don't remember
2013?
I'm sorry, 2013. I don't remember this mayor and council authorizing a payment for another reexamination this year to Karen Gregory. I presume it's Karen Gregory, she's doing the report. And I believe, at least 2012, there was an ordinance actually done in order to do it. And I don't ever remember any discussion about the planning board requesting a third reexamination within, 3 years, 4 years. Because all of that, of course, costs the taxpayers money, and if it's done right the first time, it's usually about 6 years in between that they do the reexamination, so I just didn't know why this has come up again. If someone would enlighten me on that. Which I presume you're not going to do until after I sit down. The last two resolutions, 304 and 305, are not posted on the bulletin board, so I think that they probably have to be read in entirety. Correct, or?
Yes, you were. They were late deadlines. We had a lot of problems.
Yeah. And
Technical problems.
I was also, I know that you had, I'll talk to you, but I know that the borough clerk had indicated that there was now a problem emailing copies of documents via anyone that had an AOL account, that was a problem. And I was just wondering why that came to be and if it's going to be corrected in the near future. Because I only have an AOL account. So.
Mary, did you get my email today?
The one today just saying that the thing was down. Was there another one? That the reason the schedule, this was not listed on the board was because the website had a problem.
But you received your
That one I
AOL. Okay,
yeah.
but it's up now, and the reason that we were down was we were blackballed because we had a virus. So to protect the other AOL customers, they kept us off, and they said it would take a couple of months, which it did, but it's supposed to be rectified now.
Okay, so now.
That was not to spread the virus to you.
Right, but you would get our email.
I could
Okay.
receive your emails. I could not send out to your AOL or opt online, I believe,
Two of them, okay, because of the virus.
I didn't know that part, but we should be, yeah, pretty much as
That really slows us all down. Okay, I was wondering what the story was on that, why, I
We
had
had
to
a
create
virus.
another account or something.
And they wanted to shut us down, so they didn't create this mess.
So now it's been corrected and we're okay, hopefully, fingers crossed.
As of this minute, yes.
Okay, and then my other question, of course, we're still talking about Undercliff Avenue north of Route 5. And I read in the paper that apparently the mayor and council is considering the possibility of making it a one-way. I would ask that we make it a one-way from North Street south, at least for now, because that allows us to go down Glenwood, across Myrtle, and come back up north if we ever want to reach the Orchard light, because the problem is the Orchard light. Of course, you have the Glenwood light, but we'll never be able to use the Orchard light if it's all made the one-way south, and then that time, only the people on Orchard Street would be able to use the Orchard Street light, or someone coming from Palisade and going down that way, which said, with people making U-turns, because otherwise there's not that many, you know, the school takes up that whole half of Undercliff. So that was just, and then in the future, you may have to make it further up as they start to develop, like we call it, Kevin's, you know, the empty lots that are up there, and start doing that. The only other problem I had, and I know that we have to go get the numbers on the poles, but you come down Route 5, and now that the lights are, we lose the sunlight earlier, is a sequence of 5 poles that have no lights on it, right in the middle of Route 5 coming down. I know a lot of people walk that, because first we have a sidewalk there, but they walk it up and down. And one of the poles, the light is out, the other one doesn't have a light, and I don't know where that light went to. I thought they had lights on every other pole, but for some reason in this section, the one is out, but the other one doesn't have a light. I don't know if that went down during Sandy, but it just seems like a big stretch.
Up the road?
Yeah, like the sewer plant, Fort Lee sewer plant is there, so it's further north, going down Route 5 before you hit the bend. The lights are then on down at the bend. So if someone could just look into it, and I don't know why that one, you know, why that's such a big stretch with only one light, you should really have two. And the other quick question I just had was, are you gonna have trees down for sale?
No.
No.
We didn't. It was, unfortunately, I cut my own tree down yesterday, Mayor. But it was, you know, obviously, it's a lot of time, and we didn't make enough for the volunteers that were doing it.
Oh, okay.
Not for the volunteers, but for the few that we got out, it was a month of my time, and I would have been in deep trouble if I did it this year.
No, I just saw all the little house set up and stuff.
Yeah, no, we're not doing
in
Christmas trees. We
anticipation.
usually got on the weekend after Thanksgiving, and
Yeah,
this
because
year.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
that should have been last
Late,
weekend.
yeah, no, we didn't, we're not gonna do it this year. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Ma'am?
Kathy Cordova, 88 Brookline Church Road, North Bergen. I have a question for the mayor. Where did the concept for another re-examination start? That's being heard next week at the planning board hearing. Where did this concept originate, since there was one done in 2012?
Could you repeat everything?
You talking, I can't.
Speak right into the mic.
Okay. But my question is, where did the concept for the 2013 re-examination start?
You know,
Who did it? Did the mayor and council come up with this idea, or any of the boards?
I believe it's the planning board, but,
Planning board.
yeah, so.
And when was that started?
I don't have a date for you, I don't have a time for when it was, but pretty sure we discussed it.
Was there any specific matter that generated the review, since one was done in 2012?
No.
The re-examination? No, okay. What properties are being rezoned in this re-examination that are different
I don't
from
have that
properties
information.
in 2012?
I don't have that information. It's for, come to a planning board
Who
meeting.
would have that information?
Remember.
Okay. Has the mayor or council appropriated any funds for any traffic studies with regards to this re-examination of the master plan?
We don't have the,
So there is no traffic study being done.
at this point, I'd say no.
And my final question is, has the county of Bergen and Hudson County planning boards been notified about this re-examination that's taking place?
That's something you have to get from, you could attend a planning board meeting and find out. I'm not 100% sure if they did, so I would, come and ask Chairman O'Connor.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wish to be heard? Peter?
Evening, Mr.
Mr. Mayor, Council. Peter DePaul, 606 under Cliff Avenue. Happy holidays to everyone, and if you would send it also to Dave Jordan. Wanted to know if there's any update on the ball field, how is it coming along with the testing, and then maybe moving on ahead for completion, but has there been any recent information?
Yeah, Peter, the LSRPs met on Friday. They were supposed to meet earlier in the week, like Monday, Tuesday, but due to the weather, it was postponed until Friday. And my take from the meeting was, it was positive to the point where they'll end up in hopefully agreeing on a direction in which we can start meeting in the field.
All right. Thank you. Have a good holiday.
Anyone else wish to be heard? Seeing none, I'll close the open portion of the meeting.
Or rather, Phil, I have a question regarding the traffic studies. We seem to hear a lot of residents coming up and asking if the boroughs conducted traffic studies. Are traffic studies usually conducted by a developer to find out what the impact of that project is going to be, if any?
Yes, that normally is a site plan,
Right.
component of site plan application. But for purposes of the periodic reexamination, that is strictly within the authority of the planning board. But I do think it's worth commenting on that there have been two events that I think is worthy of their consideration. One is the proposed amendments that have been requested from iPark, where they want to add additional residential units, they want to add a hotel, they want to add some additional retail, and also another significant event that we have been made aware of is the Hess property, which is, to my understanding, they have vacated that area. They're not going to use that as storage anymore. So I think to be proactive, the planning board is looking ahead to determine how that property should be developed, and especially the impact it's having on the school system. Mayor, I believe you got a letter from the superintendent of schools saying that we need to be paying attention to these types of issues. And I think it's prudent for the planning board to engage in this dialogue and see what kind of impact it's going to have. So I think those are the reasons, to my understanding, why they are revisiting this. So I think it's appropriate in these circumstances.
Any other questions? All right. I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes of November 6, 2013, special and closed, November 12, 2013, regular, and December 2nd, 2013, work and closed. Do I have an introduction?
I'll introduce it.
Second? Roll call?
Councilman Henwood, Councilman Doran.
Yes.
Councilman Monty.
Yes.
Councilman Vidal.
Yes.
And Councilman Bartolomeo.
Yes.
Receipt of bids.
Mayor, we received bids for the Marina windscreen, which will be awarded, I presume will be awarded this evening by resolution 2013-275. We also received RFQs for professional services for the year 2014. And Friday, we received RFP for medical billing services. That's it.
I see we have option of public hearings. We have none.
None, Mayor.
I see communications petitions. We have none.
None.
An introduction of ordinance. We have none. Councilman Doran, do you have a liaison report?
No, sir.
Councilman Monty.
One thing I would like to say is I've heard from the DPW, the head of the DPW, in reference to one way on the cliff may compromise getting the vehicles, the DPW vehicles on the cliff, and they would be on River Road trying to navigate north. It was something that Mr. Quinton brought to my attention. As we know, I mean, River Road can get crowded, so between emergency vehicles, fire trucks. Not saying which way I'd be leaning, but just to bring to your attention something that you brought to me.
And what was that?
This was on the one-way, you know, there was talk of the council talking about making Undercliff a one-way up north from the school.
Just for the record, today I actually received a letter from a resident, and I've received probably one or two others that, you know, not necessarily in favor of it, but to know that we're looking at it. We haven't made the final decision yet.
That's all I have.
Councilman Vidal, you have a liaison.
No.
Councilman Borton.
No.
All right, so moving forward, we have resolutions. We have resolutions 2013-273 through 2013-305. I know that we're looking to do 304 and 305 individually. And I know we've all discussed these resolutions, so I'd ask if we have any questions in regards to them. I'll try to run through them quick. 2013-273, that's just community development project, which is basically between Hilliard and Garden on Undercliff. We see the reduction in Borough Hall Phase 2, you know, a credit of $1725.74. We see that's the screen repairs. We've all discussed what's been going on in the at the last council meeting, the work session, Greg brought up the telephone service providers, and we're looking to make a change there. The next two are housekeeping. Obviously, 279, we have Santa and Friends. Cancellation of outstanding checks. That's something Joe does every year. I don't understand why we have any outstanding checks, but anything that is outstanding, he cancels. Transfers, we have emergency appropriations for police salaries. At the end of the day, I know we asked with the crossing guards and with the stepped-up presence of the Edgewater PD at the Edgewater Commons on Thursday nights. I think that would pretty much self-explain what the appropriations for. The tax and redemption. We have the Paralex Infinity LLC transfer. I know that would be something that I spoke with Catherine Gregory, that the units are there, so we don't have a problem there. We interlocal between Cliffside and Edgewater. DPW, the Edgewater DPW will be making the mixture of salt brine for Cliffside to come down and use. At the last meeting, I remember the lady from PSE&G had asked if we could endorse the PSE&G Strong Energy Program. We got some pretty much housekeeping. RFP for planning services for post-Sandy planning assistance. I know that was one that I believe many of you might have a question on. Where's the money coming from? We received a grant, and the money will come directly from the grant in regards to 2013-94, 294. Approve the plan design, and let me see what else we got. New voice recorder for headquarters, a sweeper and a bucket loader for the DPW, turn up here for the volunteers, and that's pretty much it. So if anybody has a question in regards to the resolutions, please let me know. I know we've discussed them in the last couple of days. So. I'd ask for a consent agenda from 2013-273 up until 2013-303. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Monti?
Yes.
Councilman Vidal?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, Barbara, you'll take care of 2013-304.
Yes.
2013-304 as the HVAC plant maintenance agreement, whereas Borough of Edgewater solicited for proposals for a 3-year maintenance contract for the HVAC units located in the following locations for a contract period beginning January 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2016. It's for the Old Borough Wall, New Borough Wall, Police Station at 916, Edgewater Community Center 1167, River Road Fire Headquarters, 18 Gabriel Road, Edgewater Marina Building, 989 River Road, and Volunteer Building at 1408 River Road. Borough received a proposal from Jim O'Reilly's HVAC located on Dominic Street, Manville, New Jersey, in the amount of $5,000 for $5,000 a year for a 3-year contract. And whereas I, Joseph Iannacone Jr., Chief Financial Officer, have certified that funds are available for this purpose under the DPW budget line item, buildings and grounds maintenance. Now therefore be resolved by the governing body that proposals submitted by HVAC in the amount of $5,000 is hereby accepted not to exceed that amount, and the mayor and borough clerk are authorized to sign the contract.
Do I have a motion for 2013-304 HVAC maintenance agreement contract? Kevin Norton. Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Monti?
Yes.
Councilman Vidal?
Yes.
And Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
That amount, is $7,000.
Next up, we have 2013-305 support application to NJDEP, Green Acres Minor Diversion.
Correct. The Green Acres Program for the minor diversion of parkland, Block 1, part of Block 2, 1445 River Road, riparian, Borough of Edgewater, Bergen County, New Jersey, unfunded parkland, SHC 0213001. Whereas part of Block 1, Lot 2, riparian is part of the Borough of Edgewater riparian land within the Hudson River, which is encumbered with restrictions against disposal or diversion from recreation and conservation uses by the New Jersey DEP Green Acres Program, and whereas in conjunction with the proposed diversion to legalize existing riparian encroachment, parents existing and historical docks and appurtenances, end quote, and a portion of the riparian parkland, it is necessary to remove the Green Acres restrictions from an approximate 1.063 acre portion of the riparian parkland. And whereas the removal of Green Acres restrictions from parkland requires the approval of the Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Protection and the State House Commission pursuant to NJAC 7:36-26, and whereas the Borough of Edgewater wishes to apply for approval for the legalization of existing riparian encroachments, parents existing and historical docks and appurtenances, I know I say that wrong, and as a minor disposal or diversion of parkland under NJAC 7:36-26, and whereas the first step in the application process for approval of a minor disposal or diversion of parkland is the filing of a pre-application under NJAC 736-26.4, and whereas in accordance with NJAC 736-26.4, Section D10, it is necessary for Borough of Edgewater to submit as part of the pre-application a resolution endorsing the application to divert or dispose more parkland. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Edgewater, Mayor and Council of the Borough of Edgewater, and County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, as follows. The Borough of Edgewater endorses the filing of a pre-application for the pursuant to NJAC 7:36-26 for legalization of existing riparian encroachment, current existing and historical docks and appurtenances. And to the Borough of Edgewater hereby finds that legalization of existing riparian encroachment, including the docks and the appurtenances, would meet the minimum substantive criteria at NJAC 7:36-26.1, parens D, by monetary compensation and replacement acreage and creation and construction of a future public pedestrian trail and connected to the Palisades Interstate Park. And 3, the Borough of Edgewater acknowledges that historical docks and meet opportunities. All substantive and procedural requirements of NJSA 7:36-26 must be met, including compensation requirements of NJSA 736-26.5. And 4, the Borough of Edgewater acknowledges that in the event the Green Acres program classifies the legalization of existing riparian encroachment, existing and historical docks and opportunities as a major disposal or diversion of parkland, additional application information will be required under NJAC 7:36-26 before the application can proceed.
Could I get a copy of those two resolutions?
2013-305. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion?
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Monty?
Yes.
Councilman Mandel?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Have any old business we need to bring up? New business? Phil, you have anything for us tonight?
No.
Greg?
Just real quick, Mayor, I need the council committee to select some dates, so Debbie Riley and myself can meet with the committee to review the RFQs. And Debbie Riley and I, along with the chief of police, will be evaluating the medical department RFP. As you did report on, Mayor, that we did have a productive meeting in regards to Veterans Field on Friday. Information was shared between the two LSRPs. And we are waiting. There was mutual agreement, and this was a source of contention with the governing body as far as the lack of movement is the validation of the testing results. So far, that validation has yielded confirmation of the original results. Both LSRPs agreed that an action plan will only be submitted once the validation's been completed. So we're hoping another week or so that should be completed, and then hopefully sometime between Christmas and New Year's, we should have that action plan drawn up and submitted to the DEP and EPA for review. Other than that, happy holidays.
Okay. Under myself, we have 2 openings on the Housing Authority. And I'd look to replace Barbara Hoynish with her daughter, Dawn Hoynish. And Michael Henwood had resigned from the board, and I asked to replace Michael Henwood with Steve Stewart. So I'd ask for the approval of the council if I need it therefore.
So that's a motion to appoint Dawn Hoynish
Appoint Dawn Hoynish.
to fill Barbara Hoynish
Yes.
and Mike Henwood, Steve Stewart.
Her name's on which? What's her married name? She's there.
Star, Barbara Star.
Star.
Star, thank you. We still
You
call
always
her-
know why I'm needing.
I always know.
Motion to open.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Councilman Monty? Councilman Doran?
Yes.
Councilman Monty?
Yes.
Councilman Mandel?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Just Friday, January 3rd at 6 p.m. is a reorganization. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to have a presentation for Mr. Russell DeGate. very impressed and very thankful. Your actions saved an Edgewater resident. I don't know if you're aware of that, but we're very appreciative. This is a Citizens Award presented to Russell Degate on behalf of the Borough of Edgewater. Whereas on the morning of Friday, November 1st, 2013, the Edgewater Police Department received a telephone call from a concerned person notifying the police department that an Edgewater resident did not return home from the previous night. And whereas after speaking with the telephone caller and obtaining various information from that person, it became known that due to certain medical conditions, this individual was what is identified as an endangered person, and due to this classification and the individual's age, a silver alert was issued statewide. And whereas at approximately 1 o'clock in the afternoon on November 1st, Mr. Russell Degate of Forest Hills, New York, spotted the missing person's vehicle traveling south on the New Jersey Turnpike. And whereas Mr. Degate contacted the New Jersey State Police, and then he proceeded to follow the individual until a state trooper intercepted them and stopped the vehicle. And whereas, due to the quick action and alertness of Mr. Degate, the Edgewater resident received the immediate medical attention needed, and therefore averted a possible tragedy. And now, therefore, be it further resolved that I, James F. Delaney, Mayor of the Borough of Edgewater, along with all of the members of the governing body, would like to personally